Welcome to the Diocese of Paisley podcast. In this episode, I'll be looking at the work of our Young Adults Commission. I'll be finding out about how it started, what's involved in the monthly talks, special events and trips. The commission is run by pastoral directors Father Joe McGill and Father Ryan Black, who joins me now. Could you tell us who came up with the idea to start the Young Adults group?
Yeah, so it was back in 2021 and Bishop Keenan, our bishop here in the diocese, had been in touch with myself and Father Joe McGill to say that he would like to establish an office for the pastoral formation of young adults in the diocese. And that's something that hadn't really existed on its own before. We've always had a youth office, a youth department in the diocese, but that really looked after pastoral formation for all young people from primary one until after university age. And so Bishop Keenan thought it would be helpful to establish this new office to focus specifically on the pastoral formation of the young adults aged 18 to 35.
You touched on it there. What age group is the group aimed at?
Yep, so the young adult group is for all young Catholics aged 18 to 35 years old. So that's after they've left high school, all the way through university and further education, as well as obviously work. And yeah, that's it, 18 to 35.
And how many adults go to the events?
Yeah, so we meet monthly, more or less, throughout the year, and so that's really the best gauge of how many people are coming to our regular events. I'd say our monthly meetings, we have anywhere between 15 and 30 young adults. There are obviously extraordinary things that happen, and the numbers can go up then, things like the 40 Days for Life vigil that we used to attend outside the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital, things like pilgrimages, which I'll speak more about. So there are varying numbers, but when I look at the WhatsApp group, we have a WhatsApp group for everyone who wants to be involved. There are almost 80 people in that chat, so the people who are coming are different people all the time because of work commitments and other commitments.
What would you say to a young adult that was thinking of joining the group?
Please come. I mean, you'll love it. We are really pleased with how things have gone since the office was established. You'd be more than welcome to come along. Really, myself and Father McGill, our core desires, as it were, for the group are that the young adults are first of all being formed, they're receiving catechesis, instruction on the faith, but also really importantly we want them to be developing a social network with other like-minded young adults, because it can be tempting to think if you're aged 18 to 35 and you're taking the faith seriously that you're the only one in the world doing it. So we want you to come along and realise then that there are so many other people just like you who want to take the faith seriously, who want to learn more about the faith, who want to practice the faith, but also who want to develop a new network of friends as well.
Is there any costs that would be involved with someone joining?
Absolutely not. The whole thing's completely free. So the monthly talks and the annual barbecue and the various things that we do, they don't cost the young adults anything. Every now and again, if we're going to have a particular social, like for example around about Christmas time we go bowling or we go out for dinner and drinks in the city, then of course there'll be costs for those little individual moments, but there's no cost to come along and be a member of the group.
Why do you think it's important for the diocese to have a young adults group?
That's a great question. I think it's really important for a whole number of reasons. I've already touched on the fact that so many young people in the diocese and indeed across the country can be tempted to think that they're the only ones who are taking the faith seriously and want to learn more about their faith. So first and foremost, our office shows them that's simply not the case. There are so many people, as I said, maybe 80 young adults in the diocese who are currently engaged in the WhatsApp group, showing that they want to know the things that are happening, the events that are taking place. So that's really important for the young people. But on the other side of that coin, it's really important for the diocese and for our parishes, because these young people are being formed in the faith and they can then be boots on the ground in our parishes and at diocesan level at various events. So many of our young adults have gone on to become involved in things like the diocesan Lenten catechesis. They're involved in their own parishes. I know here in St Mirren's Cathedral, where I am, our young adult group is really involved with a whole range of things, including monthly holy hours on a Sunday evening. They're involved with tea and coffees on a Sunday morning after Mass. So it's really important for the young people, and it really benefits them, but it also really benefits the parishes they're in and the diocese at large.
With universities going back in September, do you think the group will get busier then?
So we have a wee bit of a break of sorts during the summer months for lots of reasons. Obviously, lots of people are on holiday, and we understand that, so it can't run at the same pace over the summer months. But yeah, kind of September, October time each year is when we mark a new series of talks, if you like. Myself and Father McGill get together and plan a new series of talks. We talk about the content we want to be covered. We agree on speakers that we're going to invite in to come and give the talks. So that's great, and that, as I said, happens when the universities and colleges go back. But it's really important to remember, and I should stress this, that not everyone who comes to the young adult group is at university or college. It's where lots of them are, but lots of them have already gone through that system. Some of them have gone straight into the world of work. Some of them are still trying to work out what's next for them. So I don't want people to think that if they're not going to university or college, they're not welcome. Of course they are, and there are lots of people who are involved in lots of different things who come along. But yeah, we expect the summer barbecue is a great thing. That's a chance for us just to get together and relax. But then the new series of talks with the formation and catechesis, that really kicks off in September, October time.
What type of events do you have throughout the year with the group?
Yeah, so this is really the meat of the subject, I guess, right? So what do we do is the question. So first, the first thing that we did and we continue to do is we have this series of talks which run for between 6 and 8 months of the year. They start in September or October, and they cover all sorts of different topics. So that in 2021-22, our first year, we covered really a series on Catholicism 101. It was kind of basic building blocks of the Catholic faith. What is prayer? What is the Eucharist? What is Marian devotion, etc. The second series of talks then in 2022-2023 was built around the divine praises, and so it was very devotional, and after every talk we would spend some time before the Blessed Sacrament, and then we would get together socially afterwards. Then we had a series of talks, God's Image and Likeness, and that was a really interesting series of talks that focused on some of the bioethical questions of the day. So we looked at Catholic teaching on things like cloning and IVF, abortion and euthanasia, and that was a more academic than devotional series of talks, which was really great. And then the series that has just come to an end. The series that has just come to an end was the Christ and the Covenants series, which was a biblical approach to Catholic Church teaching on the various moments in salvation history where God has entered into a relationship with his people. So they're really broad and varied topics that we cover, but they've all been fantastic. I should say at this point, because this is really important, every talk ends with a wee bit of time in prayer before the Blessed Sacrament, and also importantly, some time in the pub. So we go to the local pub and we have a few pints, and we talk about what we've heard, and that's really important for helping people to get to know each other in a more relaxed way. Outside of the talks, and the talks really are the meat of what we do, but outside of the talks we have our socials throughout the year, like Christmas time, Easter time, the barbecue every summer. We also organise pilgrimages each year. So last year we took the group to Lourdes, which was a wonderful pilgrimage. We joined up with the diocesan pilgrimage at large, and this year we're just getting ready now. I'm speaking to you in the middle of July. We're getting ready in early August to travel to Krakow for a week-long pilgrimage with the young adults in Poland, following in the footsteps of John Paul II and other Polish saints. So there really are so many things that we're doing, and it just keeps getting busier and busier, but that's great because people are coming to more and more things, that they're looking for more things to do.
Does the group do any fundraising for charities throughout the year?
So far, the fundraising that we've done has been to cover the costs of our pilgrimages. So we've done various things, sponsored walks and tea and coffee mornings. We've had quiz nights. It's something that we could look into in the future, that we might look to raise funds for other good causes. The young adults, as you might expect, are quite active in their local parishes and in the diocese anyway, doing other things that are involved with various fundraising activities in different spheres. So they might not necessarily do it through the young adult office, but they're doing it anyway. And then just a final thing I'll say. So if anyone is thinking about learning more about the Young Adult Office and what they do, they want to know more about the talks or the events that we're organising, then first of all they can find out in their parish bulletins, because we send that info out there, but also they can email myself or Father Joe McGill for more information. We can also add you then to the WhatsApp chat, so that you're always, that's the best way to keep in touch with everything that's happening. It's the most up-to-date place for information. So if you want to get in touch with myself or Father Joe, the email address, both of our email addresses are on the diocesan website. It's ryan.black@rcdop.org.uk and joe.mcgill@rcdop.org.uk.
Thank you, Father Ryan, for your time.
Thank you, Tony. It's been great to catch up with you, and might see you at one or two young adult events in the future as well.
Yeah. I'm here with the young people from the Young Adults group in the Diocese of Paisley. Could you tell us what you like about the group and what made you want to join?
My name's Mary, and what I enjoy most is, it's kind of a community. When you come to church, there's a variety of different people, but it's nice to get involved with people your own age and, have activities and different things that are catered specifically for us and what we want. Yeah,
it's nice to be with like-minded people that kind of share your ideals and beliefs. You don't really have that much out in society, so it's nice having that group within the diocese to be able to come together and grow in our faith, but also have that time to socialise as well. Yeah.
My name's Kathleen. The group's been great. We've not had something like this for ever, I think, in the diocese, so it's been really nice making new friends and getting to know the people within our parish and beyond.
Did you enjoy the barbecue tonight?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed the barbecue. I think, is this the third barbecue that there's been now? So it's always a good kind of social aspect of the calendar. It's always something to look forward to, and a nice way to kind of get together in summer when there's not normally as many things going on or as many meetings or stuff, that we still have this to come together, just have a bit of socialisation. Yeah.
I'm here with Father Joe McGill. Could you tell us who came up with the idea to start the group?
Yeah, absolutely. Bishop John Keenan actually was the one that thought it would be a good idea to do. He was the one that asked myself and Father Ryan Black to start this. One of the young people was saying that there hasn't really been something like this in the diocese maybe ever, certainly not in my own memory, which is not particularly long, but nonetheless, it's just about giving young people a place where they can feel like they're not the only ones in the church. I think sometimes the temptation for some of the young people is to look around the parishes, or maybe they're at a Sunday Mass and they're not seeing a lot of people their own age, and so when we bring groups together and there's maybe 30 of them here this evening, more or less, sometimes at different talks that we do, it's about giving them, really more than anything else, relationships with other young people, other young Catholics who think the same way they do, who want the same things they do, who want ultimately to be close to Jesus and close to the church. And being in that community is something that really strengthens your faith. We're not supposed to live the faith on our own. We're supposed to live, the faith in a community, and the church is what that is. But sometimes the church can feel a wee bit, old.
It can, yeah. We see tonight that we have the barbecue on tonight, and the young folk are enjoying themselves. It must make you feel proud that the young folk are coming and enjoying events like tonight and events like Poland I was told about as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from the very beginning, obviously a big thrust of what we do, through the year is catechesis and talks, and it's about learning about our faith. And there is an academic or kind of catechetical element of what we're doing, but actually from the get-go, both myself and Father Ryan thought that what's key to making this work is to making it like a social thing as well. So even when we're having our talks, we go to the pub after it. Do you know? We started off, we were in the cathedral doing the talk and then some adoration and benediction. We do it now in the offices, in the wee chapel in there. So there's a prayer element, there's a catechetical element, but there's also a social element, and that's really important. And that's what this event is really more than anything else. It's a social. There's nothing, there's no input, there's no talk. The bishop said grace. That's about the extent of it.
Yeah.
Because ultimately it's about building relationships. Because if we've got strong, good Catholic relationships with one another, then it'll be so much easier to have a good, strong faith if you've got other people around you who are doing that with you. We're not, I keep saying it, we're not made for isolation, we're made for community.
Yeah. And if somebody wanted to join the group, what would you tell them?
Oh, absolutely, just come along. It's not it's not a closed shop. that's really important. It's not a closed shop, and in fact, even this evening, there's a couple of people who have never come to some of our events who are here tonight for the barbecue. We put them in the bulletins every week. That they're on. There's regular stuff. We've got a wee WhatsApp group that's dead easy to get added to. Myself and Father Ryan's emails are always on the bulletin notices, and we're always asking them to bring their friends. Because we want this to grow. We want more young people in the church to experience that community aspect of being a Catholic. Because it's so easy to be discouraged when we're isolated, but when we're together, it's really easy to be encouraged and to be together. So it's not a closed shop at all. And if anyone's listening to this and they want to come along, absolutely come along.
Thank you for your time, Father Joe.
Thanks very much.